Okay, so today we are looking at trying to assess how risky a situation is. And when we're doing that, there are several things we need to think about. So we need to think about the person doing the activity. So how old are they? How capable are they of doing that task safely? And can they afford to be taking that risk? We also need to think about who else is there. So are they someone who will be able to help? Would they also get hurt if something went wrong? We need to think about where this is taking place. So, is this a safe place? Are there maybe other hazards in the environment that we need to be aware about? And four, we need to think about how likely it is that the outcome will be good or bad. And we can use some different scales to think about this. So, the first one is how likely is it that something will go wrong? So, in some situations, it's almost impossible that anything will go wrong. It's a very safe situation and it's unlikely that anything bad will happen. Then it can go up to being very unlikely, then it can start to be somewhat likely that something bad can happen. You can predict that there might be a bad outcome. Likely, or five, almost certain. So in this situation, it's almost certain that something bad is going to happen. And the other thing we need to think about is how bad the outcome would be if something did go wrong. So if something went wrong, there might be an insignificant outcome. That means it's barely noticeable that something's gone wrong. There might be a minor impact. The outcome could be quite bad. It could be very serious or catastrophic. So let's have a think about assessing the risk in this example. So this boy here is cutting out different shapes from paper and card. His dad is watching. They are at home sitting in the kitchen. So here's how I've answered those questions. So the person is 4 years old. That means he probably hasn't done much cutting before. Who else is there though? We've got dad sitting nearby and he will be able to help if he starts to struggle. And where are they? They're sat at a table in the kitchen. So now I can start to think about assessing on my scale from 1 to 5 how risky this situation is. So my first question is, how likely is it that something will go wrong? I said it's a 2. It's not a 1 because he is quite young and he hasn't done this a lot before, but he's got an adult sitting right there watching him who will be able to stop him if he starts to struggle. And then for how bad the outcome would be, I've put a 3. So the scissors do look quite sharp. They're not the child scissors that we have in schools. So if he did cut himself, it might bleed. So I've put that as a 3 on a scale from 1 to 5.